Welcome, Army fans. This is Joe Iacono with GoBlackKnights.com, along with former Army safety and two-time team captain Marquel Broughton. Marquel, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Just happy to be here.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it. Last time most of the Army fan base saw you, you were putting the finishing touches on a dramatic overtime win over the school from Maryland after Quinn Moretzky's clutch field goal in 2022. What have you been up to since then?
It's been a lot. Before graduation, I got to go out to minicamp with the Broncos. Spent some time up there. It was a good experience, fun just to be there and just put that NFL helmet on, put that NFL jersey on. Be in that lunch cafe, just all the good things that you dream of as a kid, and just to be able to do that, that was nice. Once I graduated, I continued to try to see if any teams or anything was going to open up. Nothing really opened up. So I had to start my process of getting back into the Army. That took about 8 months. So with that, we actually had a West Point grad, Rob Sunday. He's in the C-suite at Lazy Boy, and he actually got me a job doing some sales training. So I did some sales training for about 6, 7 months with Lazy Boy, which was a great
Good stuff.
experience.
That's not a lot of like recent West Point grads can say that, but
Right.
if you ever do decide to go back into the business world, that could help you.
Exactly, right. Yeah. So that was a good time. Did that, and then after that, I went to ABOLIC, so the Armor Basic Officer Leadership course. I finished that, and then after that, I went to Ranger School, which was brutal. I went from November to January, so really cold. I didn't know Georgia got that cold. I'm from Georgia, and
I know, right?
man,
The mountains are like a completely different country.
so totally different. Mountains was crazy. But yep, went and did that 62 and through. That was nice. After that, I
Nice.
went to airborne school. After airborne school, I
Oh,
moved
so you went
over.
to Ranger as a leg and then you went to
Uh-huh.
airborne
Right,
school. Okay.
exactly, exactly. Yep. So after that,
Would you advise that path for any younger grads looking to go to Ranger school, or do you think you should go airborne first?
I'd say go ahead and do that. The reason for it is because you can get hurt on a jump, and that can
Yeah.
get you recycled, or you could get kicked out of the school, and you just
Yep.
don't want to take that chance. So I say that, yeah, maybe just go to Ranger school, get that done with, and then go to airborne school. And airborne school will be more fun because you already have your Ranger tab, and now it's just like, all right, now I'm just jumping out of planes. I'm learning how to be a
Yeah. And
parachutist.
once you've been to Ranger school, airborne school is like the easiest thing on
Right,
planet.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, that was nice. Uh, I got married in June, this past June. So that was
Congratulations.
nice,
It's awesome.
yes, sir. And then I moved over to Fort Stewart, where I'm with Third ID right now. I'm with First Brigade and then 164 Armor. And now we're here, and we're just kind of going through the motions. And they're actually redeploying soon. So once they come back, I'll be hopefully taking a platoon, and we'll go from there.
Good stuff. And your wife is a grad too, right? She's
Yes, yes,
stationed at
sir.
Stewart with you, and you
Yes,
guys
sir.
are that's great. Good stuff.
She
Very
graduated class of 24, so
awesome.
a year after me.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. So you said you're at Stewart Armor. Did you have you been promoted to first lieutenant yet?
So I promote next month.
Okay,
Yeah. So
congratulations.
yep.
Good
So
stuff.
I'm ready for that. Yeah. So I promote next month. So that'll be a nice little pay bump that I'm excited for.
Good. Good. And let's see. Yeah. So congratulations on the wedding. That's awesome. It's good stuff. I know you guys have been dating for a while. I
Mhm.
follow your mom on social media and she
Okay.
posts all your stuff. So it's great. Talk about a little bit more about Ranger School. It's one of the toughest tests in the US military. I know sometimes Rangers don't get the publicity that like the Navy SEALs get or whatever, but
Right.
it's one of the toughest tests in the military. What made you decide to take on the challenge of becoming an Army Ranger?
It's actually funny you asked that. Literally the brotherhood. I just had so many people in my class, Connor Bishop, Pat Sesniak, just a whole bunch of guys just go through Ranger School, and I'm like, all right, I can't be the one that's
I
not
can't be
going
the
to
one
Ranger
guy who
School.
doesn't do it.
Right. I have to go get the tab, and it's funny because that pushed me. We actually have this little thing that we do. we have this watch that we pass to every. Well, obviously we can't do the whole football team, but we just pass the watch around to people that are going to Ranger School. So Connor Bishop gave it to me. Noah Knapp gave it to him, and then I just gave it to Austin Hill, and Austin Hill just passed. I think last month, and so now he gives it to someone else, and it just keeps going. It's
Oh,
just
that's
like a
awesome.
good luck
Do
thing.
you know when that tradition started?
I do not.
Okay.
I think Bryce Holland
Bryce
started it.
Allen was the first.
I'm
Yeah.
not positive, but I think that's how far it goes back.
Yeah, I always get a kick out of watching the O linemen go through because I
Right.
mean I know they have to lose a bunch of weight just to graduate, but then when they're done with Ranger School, they Connor was so much smaller than
Right.
like
Yeah,
I've ever
if
seen
you
him.
if you see Connor today, you'll be like, "Who is that?" Like that doesn't look like Connor. But yeah, he
Right.
looks good though. I tell him he's still my fat boy though. So it's okay.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. What was probably one of the maybe the biggest challenges you faced in Ranger School, and how did your background as a West Point cadet and former Army football team captain kind of help you prepare for some of those challenges?
I would say the mountains. So the mountains for us, it was really cold and rainy, right? So as that happens, morale goes down, and the missions become harder because you don't have people really wanting to get up, and people that don't want to stay awake during patrols, things like that. But I think back to fourth quarter Warriors with the football team and how hard that was, and like, all right, I could just give up on this one play. No one's going to notice. No one's going to notice this rep, but Coach Munkin is calling you out. Someone on the team is calling you out. So like just taking that and making sure that I had that in the back of my head, like someone's watching me, and then my teammates are depending on me. Because at Ranger School, you don't get your go. Everyone else around you is going to get that go. So for me, it was I'm going to put out for everyone. So when it's my turn to shine, they're going to put out for me.
Awesome. Good stuff. Marquel, your story's been pretty well publicized. You're no stranger to adversity in your life for sure. You've overcome more than your fair share already in your young life. Everyone these days says they're built different, but in my opinion, they're not. But you are, and I think that's evident. What do you think in your background has allowed you to handle some huge life circumstances so gracefully and effectively?
Obviously, one, God, and two, my mom. I mean, my mom's been through a lot from since I was 6. I've seen my mom is go through things and go through things, but she stands back up and she keeps fighting and she keeps finding a way and she keeps finding a different purpose or more purpose, or she doesn't let anything put her down, and seeing that as a young man who didn't have his father, like my mom was my mom and my dad. So seeing that and seeing that she can do that and seeing her just continue to put one foot in front of the other, no matter what was thrown at her. I think that's a big thing. And I also say my sister. She's always held us down, and she's always been that crutch for my mom. And just with them two together, like they raised me and my brother and pushed us into a lot of different ways that that I don't think I would have been if I wouldn't have gone through the things that I've gone through, and then also seeing the way that she responded to everything.
Yeah, completely agree. As I mentioned, for the fan base out there, I know Marquel's mom, gotten to know her pretty well over the last 5 years, and just an absolute warrior of a woman, complete warriorette, complete warrior for Christ, just an absolute winner. So clear to see where you get that from. You mentioned your NFL experience a little bit with the Broncos. A couple of your teammates, John Radigan, Andre Carter, Jimmy Charlo, and then some guys that you may not have known as well because either they were way younger or way older than you, but I think you did play together. Cole Christensen, Lucas Scott, Elijah Riley. They're having some success in the NFL preseason. Charlo had a big hit on kickoff. Andre Carter got a big sack the other night for the Raiders. Lucas Scott has had a really, really good preseason with the Ravens as a fullback. Have you had an opportunity to catch any of them in action on TV? And what are your thoughts on their early success this year in the league?
Yeah, I always try to catch Andre's games as much as I can. 'Cause we graduated together. We were on that
Yeah.
defense together, and we were really good friends at West Point. So I definitely try to catch him as much as I can. I know Jimmy got hurt last year, so we didn't get to watch him much. Cole Christensen, he's always in the championship, so you have no option
Yeah,
to
the
but
guy's
to
got
to
multiple
watch him.
Super Bowl rings now.
Right, and then John Radican, that's my guy, man. He he
Yeah.
picked me up a lot when we were on the team together. So definitely watching them whenever I can, just try to support them and just continue to congratulate them on all the success that they're having.
Yeah, pretty cool seeing 6 or 7 guys. Now you're definitely doing the Army thing, and I know you're all in on that. Any thoughts of giving the league another look in a couple of years when you do your 5 or anything like that? What are your thoughts around that?
I don't know. I've thought about it, but I haven't put a lot into it. Right now, I'm in the Army, like you said, and I'm just giving that my all, trying to provide for my family, my wife, and our soon-to-be baby. So just trying to make sure that everything is sturdy there, and just kind of going from there.
That was good. For those of you who didn't catch that, he just kind of slid that in. He's going to be a dad, so that's awesome. Congratulations on that. That's great. Do you guys know what you're having yet?
Yep, we're having a baby girl, so
All
I'm a
right,
granddaddy.
awesome. Congratulations. That's good stuff. Nice. Your mom will be fired up about that. I know that.
Oh, I know.
That's great. So, Marquel, Army has quite a strong legacy on defense at this point. Coach Woody has built really a juggernaut of a defense. But more specifically, the linebacker position. I just named a bunch of guys who are in the NFL, but that continues. I mean, the 2 team captains this year, the 2 inside linebackers, but also the safety position. You and Cedric Cunningham patrolled the back of the D in your time at West Point, and we're really solid back there. This year's defensive backfield is led by rising firstie safety Casey Larkin, who I think has really good ball skills and just always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Have you had a chance to watch Casey much or talk with him at all? And if so, what are your thoughts around his play and his potential?
Okay, before I get into, I just want to explain why that legacy is so
Yeah,
strong and why we
absolutely.
continue to keep producing that. It's because Coach Munkin reached out to me, I think a month and a half ago, and he reached out to a couple former players to come mentor and just like talk on the phone with one of the players. So I've been doing that with Justin Weaver,
Oh,
um,
cool.
and and we have guys that are in the Army. Some are deployed, some are going through JRTC, and all these different things, but they continue to go back to pour into that team, pour into that defense. And Casey Larkin, Max, all of them, like we're all in a group chat still talking, still communicating, still sending each other's pictures and laughing about things that happened in the past. Like that's the brotherhood. That's why that legacy continues to push. But yeah, I've been watching Casey, man. He looks good. He makes plays. He just makes plays and makes plays and makes plays. And like you said, he's just always in the right spot, always in the right spot. And then
Yeah.
he'll come down and really hit something. And that I think he can do really well this season. And I could see him actually going to the NFL and doing well there as well. So Casey he's doing good. He's repping that 20 right. So
Yep.
proud of
Yep.
him.
Absolutely. Yeah. I forgot you guys had the same number. That's good stuff. That's great. And that's really cool about the brotherhood and you guys mentoring each other and everything else. I don't know if that was always the case with previous coaches prior to Coach Munkin. So I love that he's doing that for the program. Yeah, I'm partial to Casey, just like I was to you. I grew up in New Jersey, but I live in Georgia
Okay.
now. So
Yeah.
I root for my Jersey guys and my Georgia guys all the
I
time.
got you
So
there. I got you.
it's good stuff. Let's see, we were talking before we got on air that we ran into each other at the LSU game in 2023. But have you had an opportunity to get to any other games since graduation? I know, the young officers, they keep you guys super busy. You're deployed,
Uh-huh.
you're at schools, you're doing all this stuff. Have you had an opportunity to get to any other games since you graduated?
Yeah, so the year that we played LSU also came to a couple games that year, but also the last one was the Army Navy game. Rocket Mar won, so that was a good
Yeah,
game, and I was proud of the boys there.
good
I
game. The
didn't get to
goal
catch
line
any
stand
games.
at the end.
Yeah, right. That was
That was
awesome.
that
Yeah,
was the funniest game for me because I kept talking to Coach Woody. You'll probably get this way better than me just because you spent so
Mhm.
much time with him. But I was just like, Coach, you guys kind of made it interesting there at the end. He's like, what? It worked, didn't
It makes sense.
it?
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
that
that's
was
the last game I've been to. This past season, I wasn't able to get to any of them because I was in A Bullock and then I went to Ranger School. So it was just kind of missed college football.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If you ever get a chance to go back and watch video, this team was really good,
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
exception of the Navy game, but we won't talk about it.
yeah. Let's throw that one to the side.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts, on kind of their success that they've had? Really, I mean, really since Coach Monken's been there, but I mean, other than maybe, since 2016, almost every year's been successful. 2019 was kind of a weird off season. There was a little
Mhm.
dip there. There were some
Yeah,
injuries that caused some problems. But other than that, the program's just continued to improve. I really like where the offense is now with Cody Worley running it. Uh, and can you talk a little bit about where you think they're headed in 2025 and in the future?
I mean, the thing about Army football, and you won't see this a lot in college football nowadays, is we have guys that have been there, a lot of guys that have been playing for that team for 4 years that maybe some they played special teams but didn't get to play all the way, but they get those last 2 seasons to really show what they're about. And what we do there, what we do at the academy, what we do at West Point is we build a foundation, right? And when that foundation is good, it's kind of hard to knock over that house. And I think that's exactly why they're going to continue to succeed because they have a good foundation, they have good morals, they have good character, they're doing the things that need to be done in the weight room, in the school, and just it's just that foundation. Coach Munkin has found a way to build a foundation for that team that has love, that has respect, that has all these different things that you don't really see nowadays in college football, just due to transfer portal and all these different things that are happening. But yeah, I mean, it's the foundation that is being built and that legacy. People come back and try to pour into it, right? When I was there, Coach Voigt, he came back as a captain and he was pouring into us. Now they have Luke Prue, they have Coach Prue there, and he's coming back and pouring into that. Like Army football, the Army brotherhood, they're pouring into each other, and that foundation will continue to get more and more rock solid. And that's why we're going to continue to be successful.
Yeah, so you kind of answered what my next question was going to be, more or less. That in today's modern era of college football, with the portal and NIL and all, I mean, just the craziness that's out there, and hopefully, they'll figure this out and put some guardrails around it of some
Right.
sort. Is there? I mean, clearly last year showed that Army can be successful in this era. Do you think they can sustain success? With everything else that's going on, based on kind of some of the core values of the program that you just discussed.
Yeah, I do. I think mainly just because coming to West Point is more than just about football, right? Like you can come in there, like I came to West Point thinking, oh, I want to go to West Point to play football. But then when you get around all those people in the core, you get around the leaders around there, like the Colonel Bates, the Colonel Conkeys, the Major Sean Robinsons, just the people that are going to pour into you, you see that you're more than a football player. And you have
Yep.
more to this world than just being a football player. So I
Yep.
think once they see and they get around that environment, it's kind of hard to get out. Like I was literally just talking to my wife, like we're talking about our 5-year plan. I'm like, I have to get back to West Point. Like I have to. I need to be around them. I want to be able to influence people. I want to be able to be in that environment because that environment is so. It's like it drives you. It just pushes you to be better and better and better every single day. And that's what I want to be around.
I can totally relate to that. It's so funny how many of my classmates who I thought were going to be like five and fly ended up going back and teaching at West Point or working in
Mhm.
the athletic department. I don't know if I can't remember if Colonel Gaylord Green or Reno Arredondo were there when you were there or not, but
Okay,
both those
I don't
guys are
think
my classmates. They worked in the athletic department for a long time.
okay.
Doug Crandall, who was 2 years younger than me, ended up going back and teaching in, I think, BSNL or systems or one of those departments. And another really one of my really good buddies, two of them actually ended up going back and teaching in systems. So it's funny. Yeah, it's like the thing that we always tell the civilians is like the 4 years you're there, you can't wait to get out of the place, and then you spend the
Right.
rest of your career trying to get back.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's super weird. So Marquel, last question for you, really. You've been successful, honestly, in just about everything you put your hand to so far. Not saying that there haven't been roadblocks and that, there haven't been failures, because failure leads to success. But what do you hope to accomplish in the Army and with the rest of your professional career and as a husband and father?
Well, one with husband and father, just provide, just be the best father that I can to my little girl and be the best husband that I can to my wife. That's the biggest thing with that. With the career, just have fun, just continue to have fun, continue to influence people. Because there's a lot of influence that you can have on those little privates, those younger privates, and I just want to continue to influence people to find the best version of themselves, and that's just the biggest thing with me. It's not about the being the scout platoon leader. It's not about the job. It's really about the people for me. And, until I stop having fun with that, then I'm going to keep doing this Army thing. And that's just kind of the plan with that.
Awesome stuff. Marquel, great interview. Really appreciated your time and your candor, and just really enjoyed talking with you. Thank you very much. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, and for all the audience out there, we're trying to get our YouTube subscriptions up. So if you catch us on YouTube, go in, give us a like, subscribe. It's free. So go
Right.
ahead and subscribe to GoBlackKnights.com YouTube channel. We would really appreciate that. And that is it. This is Joe Iacono with Marquel Broughton. Go Army, beat Nation.